Good afternoon and welcome to this course spotlight session for the Faculty of Health and Life Sciences here at De Montfort University, where today we'll be shining a light on psychology. My name's Matt, I work in the marketing team for the Faculty of Health and Life Sciences. I'll be helping facilitate the session, and I'm joined by Jonathan from our psychology team. Jonathan, could you just give a quick introduction just about yourself?
Of course. My name's Dr. Jonathan Farnell. I'm a senior lecturer in psychology here at De Montfort University, where I've worked for 5 years, and I'm also our undergraduate admissions lead.
Fantastic. And so this session, it is a live session, so any questions you've got, Jonathan is a wealth of knowledge, so do pop them in the chat for us and we can look to get around to them just throughout the session. So I suppose firstly, what is psychology?
It's a big question.
Yeah.
I suppose we could define psychology as the scientific investigation of the human mind and our behaviour. So this can range from observable characteristics. For example, we might be interested in reaction times to certain tasks or stimuli, as well as generally more sort of invisible characteristics, things like perceived stress, well-being, satisfaction with life, happiness, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I suppose it sort of plays a part in everyday life, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yes.
I suppose one of the kind of unique natures of our psychology sort of provision, I suppose it's the wealth of options available. So we've got different specialisms. Why do you think this is sort of useful for those thinking of studying psychology with us?
I mean, that's a good question. I suppose it's because psychology has got such a breadth of career options, for example. If someone describes them as a psychologist, that's not very specific. We actually have people that might describe themselves as biological psychologists or forensic psychologists, or in my case, a cyber psychologist, where I'm interested in the interplay of digital systems and how that affects our behaviour.
Yeah.
In terms of coming to study psychology, that means we can offer more specific targeted programs, for example, psychology with health and wellbeing in society or psychology with sports management. If you're particularly interested in certain outcomes for work, for careers, you can sort of dip your toe into a secondary subject alongside psychology.
I suppose just a potential question to preempt what people might be thinking. Is it possible to sort of start on the main psychology programme and swap at a later date once on the course, or?
Absolutely, yes. We allow transfers on programmes, usually within the first couple of weeks is typically the cut-off. If you decide you want to adjust the programme, that's certainly possible.
Fantastic. So in terms of, I suppose, what makes the course so great, our facilities here. We've been rated in this year's National Student Survey as first in the East Midlands for learning resources. So that's covering things like IT and learning facilities. In terms of the facilities we've got, what do you think is sort of stand out about De Montfort?
Well, I'm very biased here because I was principally involved in our funding bid for this, and that is our brand new state-of-the-art gaming virtual reality lab. As I've described, I'm a cyber psychologist. My particular interest is computer games and how we might be able to use computer games to improve certain behaviours in people. So, for example, getting people to exercise more. Or maybe sleep better, or maybe improve their diets.
Behavioural, isn't it?
Exactly, yes. So myself and some of my colleagues, we put in this bid and we were successful, and we've built this wonderful facility that we are going to be implementing into our teaching. So students can be brought into the lab, we can show them some experimental setups, so how we might use virtual reality to expose people to certain stimuli and measure their responses, as well as it being available for students to use for their own projects, for your dissertation in your third year, your big major project. As well as if you go on to further study, a PhD or something like that, you might find yourself staying in there for many hours collecting a lot of data.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, seeing the facilities myself, some of it's absolutely amazing. We've got a facilities tour coming soon as well, so do watch this space.
Excellent.
But yeah, the facilities, they kind of, I suppose they prepare students for work, for their careers. But we've also got the optional sort of placement as well. In terms of kind of the benefit you see of students taking that? What do you think is the
Oh,
the benefit?
I think it's enormous, really. I think it's an excellent opportunity that De Montfort University presents with the placement years. To my knowledge, it might be a bit out of date, but I can't recall many other universities offering this so forwardly as we do. And it's an option that you're presented with that during your degree, your typical 3-year degree, you could take a year out. I think it's between second year and third year.
Spot on, yeah.
Wonderful, thank you for checking that. You could take a year out in industry or in practice where you are maybe working for a charity, you're working for the NHS, or maybe local authorities, or in industry, getting real world employable skills, practices, routines down, that sort of thing, getting paid for it at the same time. And I understand that our placement team sort of investigate these opportunities and make sure that they are genuine, good quality work opportunities. We don't want our students to be photocopying things all day or getting coffees for the office, any nonsense work like that. We're purely interested in students going into the workplace and developing real, proper, employable skills.
I suppose it's careers team helping get those more valuable roles, isn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose that's placements, but there's also the kind of careers aspect as well. So I know something you're quite keen on is just trying to highlight how much, I suppose, research methods we look to embed in the curriculum. What do you think the benefit of that is, sort of, aside from others?
I suppose I'll be biased here as well, because I teach and cover a lot of research methods across our curriculum. So research methods describes a sort of broad topic area that involves learning and understanding how we generate knowledge in psychology. So how we conduct our experiments, how we conduct our studies, how we measure things, as well as how we maybe perform statistical analyses to come to conclusions about our data. And this really teaches the sort of harder science skills that you might see in chemistry or biology, for example, alongside scientific writing and report writing. And you gain these very quantitative, hard science skills that are useful in a range of employment fields, alongside sort of the softer side of things like philosophy, more sort of creative writing, that sort of thing, that you might find in essay writing, which you don't necessarily get in the harder sciences.
Yeah, no, brilliant. And in terms of the kind of the teaching staff, obviously experts like yourself, what does that bring to the course as well?
Great question. So I suppose I should say that myself, as well as many of my colleagues, we are research active staff. So that means we generally have been awarded our PhDs, which are research degrees. We've conducted significant original research to contribute to knowledge ourselves. So we have research interests, we have different proficiencies and methods and things like that. But in addition to that, many of us also hold postgraduate teaching qualifications as well. So we can implement our research expertise, often we do, into our teaching, alongside sort of good evidence-based pedagogy, and pedagogy being sort of the science of learning.
Absolutely, yeah. So really kind of making it grounded, isn't it? Which is really useful. I suppose one of the kind of final things to touch on is the BPS accreditation we've got. I know it's sort of fairly standard, isn't it? But it just showcases that, we do teach the most up-to-date information. It's just a benefit, isn't it?
It's a fundamental benefit. So if you don't know, the BPS is the British Psychological Society, and they are the governing body in the UK for all matters relating to psychology. So professional psychologists, psychology clinicians, researchers, academic staff, we're all subject to the rules and expectations that the BPS lays out. So that includes things like curriculum for what we teach, how we teach it, as well as the rules on ethics and good practice for how we conduct our research. And essentially, this governing body maintains this evidence-based approach to excellence in psychology, and we are subject to that.
Yeah, no, it's really, really important, isn't it? So I suppose looking at the time, we are sort of quite pressed. It's a spotlight that we've had today. So I mean, just to those watching at home, Jonathan, why study psychology at DMU? What's the brief kind of overview for them?
It's a great question. I think there's a couple of reasons I would say. Is firstly, we are, as we've said, we're a team of research expert staff, with many of us having postgraduate teaching qualifications. So we bring this range of both research and teaching excellence into our programs. The other factor I'd like to touch on is our DMU Global trips, where we organise a number of trips to go around the globe that are specifically related to psychology. The couple off the top of my head is we do some trips to Paris to look at the neuroscience labs there, as well as trips to Malaysia to our partner institution, APU, where students can learn more about how students around the world learn about psychology and the intercultural differences, for example. And that's a really sort of high quality element of the provision that we offer, I think.
Fantastic. So yeah, that is all we've got time for. So thank you ever so much for joining us at home, and thank you, Jonathan,
Thank you for having me.
for appearing. If you do want to learn more about psychology here at De Montfort University, see some of those facilities, then would encourage you to come to our next undergraduate open day, which is in February. All the details can be found online. Just search DMU and open day, and that will come up for you. But many thanks for watching. Have a very good rest of your evening.